So against internet commenter advice, I decided to GC my own house, right? I think it came out pretty well, but check out the journey, learn how to build a house yourself, and don't be too afraid to try something you're uncomfortable with.
Started organizing my scrap wood piles. It's that sort of boredom around here. Currently we're going through what is a global lockdown for COVID-19, which is a virus. Obviously, if I air these videos on a 1-year tape delay, it's not going to be really relevant, but it explains why there hasn't been a lot of noticeable progress, and ultimately we haven't been able to really work. But let's go down into the basement here. You come with me, and I don't recommend, and I suck at ladders, by the way, I don't recommend holding a camera while going down a ladder, but what the heck. And I'll show you what we've done. We've done the plumbing rough-ins for the basement. And this is important because this has to be done prior to the slab being poured, but I got myself a can of marking tape, which is something that you can, marking paint, which you can spray upside down, and I had a little fun. So here you could see the steps are going to come down this way, right? And they'll probably end about here. This will be the utility room, which is quite large, but now with these markings and anything that's orange I've sort of measured, you can actually start to see what size the actual rooms are going to be. Over here is going to be the bathroom. I haven't marked out the bathroom yet, but the guys measured it. This is going to be the toilet. That's the 4-inch pipe. That's going to be water. And you can see this is all going below slab. So everything here is going to be covered by concrete. Now this urn of poop is the sewage ejector pump. It is because poop runs downstream or downhill, right? And this, although it may not look like it, is actually on an angle. That's the higher point over there, and it comes down here. That's gravity. So the water will run down there and into the ejector pump. We couldn't go too far because you have to maintain a certain angle in order for water to flow. Now this will be all above grade here. So the cement or the concrete will come up to about there, and this will be buried into a closet, but we'll have access to the ejector pump if need be. But when you flush the toilet, it goes from here into there. It souffles that stuff and then shoots it out to the septic. And the septic, even the pipe, I don't think we've marked it yet, but it's going to be, we're going to have to core drill through the wall to put that in. And I purposely left that one out when we were doing the foundation pour, because I didn't want to run into an issue where we end up moving it or changing it. Everything's sort of fluid at this point. And right here you see we have these 2 leaking holes. Those are for the gas and the water. And this is our sump pump. So it's like the emergency flush if the hot water tank or something lets go. Over here is where it starts to get wild, and I've used the paint to try to figure out what I'm going to do here. So this is definitely going to be the dry sauna, right? And the ceilings all the way up there, dry saunas and steam rooms, they're not supposed to be over 7 feet tall, 8 feet max. Here to the bottom of the eye joist, we're at 10.2, and then you subtract the 4 inches, and that's down to the footer. Then you're going to come up 4 inches in the concrete with the footer when we pour the concrete. So that brings us down to 9 feet, 10 inches. Then we're going to have the finished ceiling there. So let's just say we're down to 9 foot, 6 inches or so. But 9 foot 6 inches is still too tall. So we're going to bring these up. We'll build a platform. And the sauna and steam room, which is over here, which is why the drain is over here, will be elevated. Now, I was like, well, if we're going to elevate them, I saw this cool thing where it would be cool to put like an indoor spa. Like when I say spa, I don't like the jacuzzi. I don't like the jets. But something with like running water that keeps temperature, that's not just a soaking tub. And then I was like, well, we could put that right here. And this is the time to do it before we dig the basement. And then I saw another thing that I saw where they use the space under the steps. Because remember, the steps are going to come from there and down here. So this is going to be a big sort of closet because the steps are going to cut across and then go down. Obviously, there'll be a platform, say, about here. So you can't really do too much. But I was like, all right, well, maybe we can use the space under the steps and tuck the, let's just call it a jacuzzi. We'll tuck it in that area. And at first there was going to be a wall there, and that was going to be a closet. So we would enter the closet storage, but that whole utility room is huge. So that could sort of be storage, and if I could make the best use of this, great. Now there is a hunch slab here, which is whatever, 12 or 18 inches thick. So we'll have to work around that, but this stuff here could be dug out until I see the pipe that they ran here. That's when I was like, well, we're going to have to build steps to get up to the platform. And I was like, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're 4 steps up in the air. And this was just going to be open. So this is going to be steam room, glass wall going around, sauna right there. And then I'm like, all right, well, we could put some hooks for robes or something, maybe a bench here, maybe some like lounge chairs. I don't know. But then I was like, well, if we do want to go with the jacuzzi or tub, I'm standing on 18 inches of stone. Like you can see they dug it out over there to get that ejector beehive in there. But I was like, well, we could always dig this out. And we can put the mechanicals underneath there and do this. And now again, like this is going down. Say we're going to be at like 2.5 feet up here, then go down another 1.5 feet for the 18 inches. And even without too much trouble, we can pour ourselves a nice, just say 6-person, maybe 8-person jacuzzi there. So that would be pretty cool. We'll see if that ends up happening. But I think it's better served there than here. I liked it here because we could have just finished that grade here. So that would be like sort of a wall and then into the tub, which goes down below grade. But you'll still have the wall over there. So now if we just have the steps here, we could put plants or something there, and maybe that whole section is spa, jacuzzi, whatever. That's where we're at with that. I don't know if I'd be considered essential construction right now, and there is an essential construction only. But since it's an owner build and not spec build, which means that a builder's building it to flip and make money and has no intention of living there, I may be in a position where I can continue working even through the stop work order, the national stop or the statewide stop work order. But as you see, the plumbing rough is done. So we're really just ready to figure out if we're going to put a pool there. Again, pool, jacuzzi, call it what you want. And if so, if we end up going that route, we just have to dig that out. But other than that, we're ready to pour the basement. Wish me luck. I can't take any design advice or anything from you guys at this point in time, because by the time this is all airing, because of my situation, by the time this all airs, the house is going to be done anyway. So I hope you're enjoying watching me build a house and taking some, I don't know, some pointers, or even being confident that you can approach this process by yourself as well. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow. All right, what's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here. And the next step up is we've now roughed in the basement. Now it's time to rough in the rest of the house. And the rough-in plumbing is starting to look like this, which is, these are the 2 sink leads, and that's going to be a vent up there. But you'll see the different size holes being cut. Obviously, this is cut for the shower drain. This is a 4-inch hole for the toilets. And this is all gravity. So you're going to see this stuff go down throughout the house and snake its way down to where it's going to exit the house and then to either the septic system or, well, really the septic system. Here's the toilet. We did all these layouts yesterday, and this was a close one too, because look how close this measured out to this support beam in there. But I said, I don't care if it's 3 millimeters away, which is essentially where it is, as long as it works, and it works. So, and then here, again, the sink, and then the drain that goes down. This will be a closet on the other side of the washing machine. And here you can see the guys are doing the piping, which is pretty simple. You're going to measure the holes, cut the holes, then you cut the pipes according to the correct length, glue the pipes, stick them together, and you're pretty much good to go. Once we're done up here, there's going to be 1 or 2 vents cut in the roof so that you can get some airflow through the system. But yeah, you'll see it starting to come along. It comes along relatively quickly for this stage. And then the plumbing is the most important because the plumbing is the least flexible. When the electrician comes in, the electrician can sort of route around the plumbing. The HVAC also can route around. But if you run into a situation where you can't get your plumbing done, then you're screwed. Then you may have a bathroom that can't have a toilet. So that's all stuff that you have to think about early on and plot out, which is why the plumbers come in before the rest of the crew, because the plumbing is obviously one of the most important things of the house. Wires, you can literally run spaghetti wire wherever you want, and even if it's not efficient, it doesn't matter. With the plumbing, you need gravity, and we did run into a situation. Obviously, you'll see the holes over here. There's one right there, and where's the hole for the other side? There's the toilet coming down. And you need to keep a pitch. So everything, it's always got to have a pitch to it so that the waste runs away and runs down to where it's got to go. And you'll see, right, I mean, obviously it's easier to see where it is because there it is, dead center right in between the eye joists, which is nice. We're going to have a little bit of an issue in the master, which we've identified yesterday, because we don't really have any exterior walls to run through because we're framed right on top of poured. So this here is sitting right on top of concrete, so you can't go through the concrete. So that's got to do a run that way and come down here. So it'll come down the second column where there is no concrete. You can see we marked off water and everything like that. But it's a lot of this. This is the one where it takes some actual, everything's got to be right. And I mean, everything always has to be right, but this one is important. The only thing we ran into that turned out to be a problem, and it's not going to be a big problem, is the master. There you see the master coming down. We have to go through, and we have to build up because we can't come through the header. We have to go through something else. And that way, that's going to end up coming down, and we're going to build a secondary wall to accommodate the plumbing from the master. And there's the shower drain. It'll come through here, through that eye joist, and we're going to have another like 4-inch build out on the side. So this wall is just going to be sort of double thick. But this room has plenty of room. It's not going to screw with the lines of this room. They wanted to build a little fake wall here. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sort of look right. I think it'll change the proportion of those windows. But in this room, if we have a wall it'll be finished, you'll have no idea. It'll look like a thick structural wall, if anything. And it's not going to take away from any of the living space or livability. All right, we got a nice rainy day here as we are finishing up the vent and waste system on the plumbing. And that's been, I would say, a 4 or 5 day job. But you can see each waste system here needs to vent to atmosphere. The only way to get to atmosphere is to go up through the roof, and you can start to see that. Now this is going to be the waste system for the toilet. This is also the same waste system. This goes to the same place. So it all goes to the septic. If you had town sewage, which most people do, it would all go to the sewage. But this has to be vented so that when you have water come down from the sink, so the water is going to come into the sink and this is going to go out of the sink and down, that there's no like air pockets or anything like that that creates back pressure or backflow. You could think about having a gallon of water or something like that. As you pour it out, and if the air gets in the way and chokes it up, if you poke a hole on the other side, it just flushes right out. So that's what the vent system does. And you can see here, this is another sink. The sinks are the smaller lines, sinks and showers. And here we have put a clean out, because the clean out, if something ever does get clogged in here, to try to get a snake all the way up there to here is virtually impossible. So that's why you install clean outs at certain distances. You'll notice there's a bunch of different plumbing code where you can't have certain fittings. You have to have angled fittings, not 90-degree fittings, or like a sanitary T is, do I see any of them here? I don't even see any of them there, but you can assume a T looks like that. These 45s allow for a smooth pass without anything potentially getting clogged. It's just plumbing code. Other things you'll see in plumbing code are like these braces have to be mounted every 4 feet so that the pipe is supported. You'll also see that over here. This is a waste pipe, and you can see. And this is just stuff that if you don't do it, the plumbing inspector will catch it and you will not be a happy guy. I've got water coming and dripping from here. I want to figure out why. That's annoying to me because it's inside the house. The water coming through the windows, I understand. The water coming in and pooling here, and I guess obviously the house isn't dried in, so it's to be expected, but I do want to know what's going on. Here you can see I have some eggs in that nest, and I've got another bird's nest right up here. So, and then I've got some foxes. I've got lots of cool animals. But as you can see, we've got the waste and vent system almost done. You can see it running. This is from the master. We were able to do it, or when I say we, they were able to do it where they did not have to come outside of this wall. They were able to go down through here. So we don't have any issues with having to make a fake wall or anything like that. I accepted that and I was okay with it, but the fact that we don't, even better. Now, after the waste and vent system, the vent system is going to go up through the roof. I think they're going to drill 4 or 5 holes in the roof. The vent system has to get connected and then go up through the roof. Ideally, a lot of it will go through the back of the roof because you don't see it from the street. You see it from the back of the house. That's generally what people elect to do. If you ever look at somebody's roof line, you'll see some pipe sticking out of it. And let's just and right now I have no pipes, but I will shortly. Flat roof. That's not the preferred way to go from one side of the house to the next. But stay tuned. We'll get this wrapped up, and then I'll just show you the finishing touches as we start punching holes in the roof and getting this thing vented out. And now I guess you understand why plumbing comes before HVAC and everything else, because you have the least amount of flexibility. HVAC, you're pumping air, and you can pump air anywhere. So even if you have to go around the plumbing, you can do that. Electrical as well. You can snake it wherever you have to. With plumbing, you need to make your pitch, you need to make the runs, and if you don't do that, then you're sort of stuck. Then you got a bathroom without a toilet. So stay tuned, we'll show you what's up.
Hold on. Hey there, Shabam, I'm coming. Hold on. Ah.